everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about a few features here in Thinkorswim Mobile. Now it's been a while since I've made one of these videos, so with that in mind there have been some new updates, so I definitely wanted to come back to discuss some of the new features and also provide some information on the standard ones. Now I am recording this video on my iPad, but the functionality that you see here is also available on your smartphone. So jumping right into it, I do have the watch list tab pulled up here at the bottom. Now by default, you can see that there are ways to customize. You would simply click at the top left and click on index. And now here it shows you that you can find a watch list, create a new watch list. You can look at the indices, the quotes. There's also a sample watch list that I have. Or you can scan the SMA crossover or the stock consolidating ADX, and y'all already know how I feel about that. Now, of course, this is all customizable and it can be set for your own personal preferences. So for example, if I were to go ahead and click on the scan SMA crossover, you'll see it pull up here. Now this does provide an overview of all the stocks and ETFs that can be utilized as far as the crossover is concerned. And of course, this quick scan is going to be something you can see at a glance. And it just gives you a full detailed breakdown. You'll also see the stock consolidating ADX. And of course, you'll see the ticker symbols listed here as well. Now you'll see at the top in the center, there's this waffle that shows you different viewpoints. But if I go ahead and click on the one next to it, which is the 4-grid view, you'll see it pops up the actual stock if I were to go ahead and click on it. And then once I go ahead and click on SPY, you'll see the chart actually pops up on the screen. Now on the right side, you'll also see the watch list is still there. Now from here, you'll also see that there's the chart, research, options, portfolio, level 2. But if I go ahead and click on the side arrow here, it'll collapse the whole chart and I'll have just the watch list pulled up. Now next to the 4-grid is the actual list view. So again, that's here at the top in the center. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And now you'll see it shows a specific list with a full breakdown of everything from the last, the bid, the ask. It also has the HLOC, which is the high, low, open, and close. You'll see the volume, sizzle, PC ratio, the beta, yield, PE, and EPS. And then at the far right, you'll also see the market cap, historical volatility, along with implied volatility. Now, the reason why I like this is that it is a simplistic viewpoint, and that's one of the unique factors that I like about Thinkorswim Mobile. It basically gives you quick access to the information, which then can help you configure alerts and levels as far as like trends, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the last, which is this grid here at the top at the far right. And under this tab, it'll probably put you in the frame of reference of Market Watch if you're on Thinkorswim desktop, because you see these big rectangles as well. Now, if you go ahead and click on them, it'll show you the full scope. Now, for instance, you can go ahead and click on Show NVIDIA Details or Create an NVIDIA Alert. But let me go ahead and click off of that. And I will go ahead and take a look back at the list view. Now, remember with this, you can import and sync your desktop to Thinkorswim. That way you have all this information handy and it can be saved and shared as a study set. So definitely keep that in mind. Not everything will sync over, but for the most part, you'll see that it will. Now, mind you, this is a sample watch list. If I wanted to add a new ticker, all I would simply have to do is click on the pencil icon here at the top right. And then I would just go ahead and type in the ticker symbol. So for example, if I wanted to type in Tesla, I would just type in TSLA, go ahead and click done. And then once you do, you'll see it pop right up at the top. And there it is. And of course, it'll give you full display of the information as listed. Now, if you're one who likes to seek out visually from the chart for instant precision, this is perfect for you, because it definitely helps with speed and clarity, which of course is equivalent to quicker executions on trades. Now, real quick, for anyone who may be brand new, if you're looking to go ahead and place a trade on mobile, all you simply have to do is just click on the ticker, and then it'll pop right up to show you the order editor. And from here, you're just going to take a look at the numbers listed in order to customize your order. So of course, you'll see the share price at the top, and then you'll just simply need to click on the customization for it with the gear icon. Now you'll see the order defaults will then pop up, and it's showing that its stocks are set for limit, the options, futures, future options, Forex, and then underneath that you're going to see where it says visible, and that's the order description. Now hidden, you can have your conditions and your account balances. And then underneath that, you're going to see where it has the order editor layout. And this is where you'll see the risk profile, price slider, and the tax lot method. And then lastly, you'll see the exchange selector as well. For anyone who's unaware, the risk profile basically shows you the probability of your option trade, and this is something you can toggle on or off in order to see the likelihood of the trade going in your favor. You'll also see the price slider, and this can also be toggled on or off, and this is the relation to the midpoint and the natural price of whatever you select. Now the tax lot method, it is configurable. This is definitely going to be defaulted for Schwab's website, and this is just your cost basis method for your trade. And then lastly, the exchange selector is just showing you that you can route your trade to a specific exchange. And that's everything there. Now next up, what's important to note is that you can change the variables as mentioned. So let's say for instance you're looking for a buy, you'll see that it is defaulted to that. But if you have a preference for sell, you can go ahead and click on the button and it'll change it over. You can also take a look at the limit price, and if you hit the drop down for that, you'll see that it shows the order type. So you can have it for market, limit, stop, stop limit, trail stop, so on and so forth. And then right next to that is going to be the time enforced. You can select day or GTC, which is good till canceled. And then there's a few other options underneath that as far as extended hours and AM and PM. Now underneath that, you're going to see where it shows the limit. And this is the pricing that you can select and either have it go up or down. Totally your choice on your preference. But remember, limit orders are a little bit different from market orders. You can also select the number of shares you would want, and it will also increase or decrease the cost of the trade. So you can clearly see here with 2 shares, the cost would be $1,342.40. However, if I increase the number of shares, it now goes to $2,013.60. So it gives you full transparency on what you're paying up front. Now underneath that, you're going to see where it shows the position effect. Now it's automatically defaulted to open, and if you go ahead and click on it, you can have it selected to close. And then underneath that, you'll see the instructions, and you can have it fill or kill, or all or none, or selected to none. Following that, you'll also see the order description, and this just basically gives you a quick little summary on what you've selected, and that'll be the basis for that. Now from here, you can click on review, and then it'll show you the order confirmation details. And then once you have everything set the way you want it, just go ahead and review the order, and you can go ahead and select send and send it off. But in this case, it was just for example purposes. So I'll close out of that. Now next to order editor, you will see orders. So if you do go ahead and place the trade, you can monitor the trade right in that tab there. All right, so moving right along, next to watch list and trade, you'll see the positions, the order, but you'll also see this more, and it will show you that there are notifications. So once I go ahead and click on more, you'll see that it shows alerts, balances, messages, transfers, calendar, news, trader TV, chat rooms, help, and settings. Now with this, you can long press and basically just drag it in the order in which you want it to be defaulted for your layout. So let's say you wanted the news to come before the calendar, just simply drag and drop it over there, and then you'll be all good to go. But in this case, let's go ahead and start with breaking down alerts. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this bell notification here at the bottom left, and now you'll see the alerts pops up. It'll show active, triggered, and canceled. Now clearly I have no active alerts set, but in order to do so, just take a look at the top right. You see that bell notification with the plus sign? All you need to do in order to create a new alert is go ahead and touch that. Type in the ticker symbol, or you can select one that you already have defaulted on the screen. Now you'll see it pops up to show you the last, bid, ask, mark, and a few other options here at the bottom. You can also select the trigger to be less than or equal to, more than or equal to, less than or more than. And then from here, you'll see the threshold. This is where you select the actual dollar amount where you want to have the alert triggered. So in this case, it's at $671.29. Of course, you can go up or down with that. And then underneath that, you'll see the exchange. And then once you go ahead and have everything set, you're simply going to click on this blue create alert button here at the bottom right. And you'll see that it's sent off. Now here under active, you'll see that the alert has been set. But let's say you made a mistake and you're like, you know what? That's not exactly what I wanted to do. You can go ahead and click on the alert, click on cancel alert, and then it'll ask you if you are sure, click on yes, and then it'll show you that it's been completed and the alert has been canceled. Now another feature that has been updated is going to be here under calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now you'll see it defaults for the day, but you can select the month. And it'll show you everything from dividends to the economic events, futures liquidation, conference calls, earnings reports, and even stock splits. So the really great thing about this is it always keeps you in the know. So you can just scroll down, look at the information that's provided, and if anything stands out to you, all you simply have to do is click on it to learn more. You can also select for specific time frames as well. So if you're looking at 8 a.m., for example, this will tell you all the information that's been verified here. And if you wanted to move forward, let's say you didn't want to necessarily look at the 21st, you wanted to look at the 24th, just simply click on it at the bottom until you find the date that fits the information you're seeking. From here, you can just make sure that you take note on it and apply the knowledge that's learned. Now going back to more, I'm also going to click on news, and you'll see here that it shows you a list of news articles that are relevant to the stock market and the economy. So this will just provide helpful information as far as updates on what's going on around the world. Now next to that, you'll see a few other options, but I'm going to hop into settings just so I can show y'all a few things here. First thing you'll notice is that there are account options. You can see it grouped by account, toggled on or off, and then it also shows you your default account. You can take a look at login and security and select some security settings as well. And on this screen, you can enable Touch ID, or you can also enable a passcode. And this just provides an extra layer of security. Now you'll also see that there is a request for authentication, and you can select the time frame that you want. So let's say, for example, you step away from your cell phone or from your iPad. You can select a specific amount of time until it requires you to sign back in. And then underneath that, you'll see where it says check mobile login notifications and device management. You'll also see where it shows privacy mode, and that can be toggled on or off as well. And then you'll see notifications, and this is going to show you for push notifications for messages. You can be alerted as well. And then underneath that, you'll see where it says help suggestions. And this is going to be enabled or disabled for in-app help. So if you ever see that little question mark on your chart, that's just allowing you to go ahead and reach out to Charles Schwab's team if you have any questions as you're navigating through the app. Now underneath that, you'll also see where it says look and feel. Now I automatically have mine set for dark mode just because that's my personal preference, but you can toggle it on to light, iOS, or just move it back to dark. And then if you wanted to invert the colors, you can feel free to do so. You can also change the language. Mine is defaulted to English, of course. And then underneath that, you'll see calculations. It is set for the volatility calculation to be for individual implied volatility, but you can have it for the volatility smile approximation or the fixed volatility per expiration date. Either or is totally your choice. Then you'll see the P&L display method. I have it at cost. The watch list is going to be 4 weeks from now for corporate action. And then the app info is just release notes and disclosures. Now, why all of this matters is that you have a specific trade structure that can be developed even on mobile. Every tap that you have on mobile can align with a predefined plan. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to chart so y'all can see this real quick. Remember that you do have a full display of your chart. This layout can help you read price action a little bit faster, and because the chart is not clouded, it can help you make fewer mistakes, and visually it separates the noise from structure. So that's one benefit I do like about the mobile app. And for anyone wondering, a majority of this information can be synced from your desktop. If you have 2 to 3 clean setups, for example, you can avoid overloading the mobile workspace just because it is simplistic. And if you wanted to monitor your trade from both the mobile version and the desktop, that would work as well, because you can review your executions, take notes on the fills, look at the setups that best align, and then adjust anything that you would need accordingly. Now, I do appreciate that it does provide a simplified workflow because it forces you to focus again on structure and not necessarily indicators. And then next to chart, you'll also see where it shows research. You can take a look at the information there. Next to research, you'll also see where it shows options. And this, of course, displays the option chain, the same way you would see it on the desktop. The spread is going to be something you can customize. You can select the number of strike prices, the IV as well, IV percentile is there, VWAP, and historical volatility. And then once you go ahead and scroll through the weeklies, select the one that you feel is best fit for your plan. And you can select the drop down the same way. And according to the strike price, go ahead and analyze the bid and the ask price. And then use your best judgment on what you select. Now you can also customize the option chain. This is something that new traders may be unaware of. You don't have to just stick to the default parameters you see on the screen. You can click the gear icon right above the strike, and it'll then pull up the columns editor. Now you can see here, the visible columns are the last, bid, ask, percentage change, and then the mark. But if I scroll down under hidden columns, you can select anything else on this list. So for example, if I wanted to select delta, I can just go ahead and touch on the green plus. And let's say, for example, I also wanted to add the gamma to the chain, select that as well, touching the green plus, and then you'll see it automatically pops up for both. And then I can also delete things as well. So let's say I don't need the last price, just go ahead and click on the red and then select delete. And there you go. But again, this is all about clarity over complexity. So the fewer distractions you have here looking at the mobile version, the more accurate you can be in your trading if you choose to go about it in the right manner. It also provides that mobile agility because success comes from preparation. So if you already have everything aligned, the use of these features becomes that much more dependable. So with that being said, just make sure you develop a disciplined trading plan if you're on the go. The advantage isn't just mobility, it's the attention to detail. Because trading from your phone, again, it removes all distractions for the most part because it's a compressed workspace. And this basically can train you to have that market structure already implemented. And that also can produce high quality decisions under pressure. Now, another element some people may not be aware of is that if you see that arrow next to the ticker symbol, if you click the drop down, it'll display more information. So for example, we can see the market cap and volume, the sizzle index, volume index, PC ratio, open, high, low, close, the 52-week high, so on and so forth. Now this is a very quick point of reference because this information is also displayed right above the option chain. So you don't have to go searching for it because it's already provided, which in my opinion is pretty beneficial because Thinkorswim has pretty much made it very easy to access this information. So just remember, if you want to have any templates preset, those will transfer over for the most part. So yeah, y'all, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. If y'all have any questions, definitely don't hesitate to let me know. So with that, that'll pretty much do it for this video. If you found any of this information to be helpful, feel free to leave me a comment down below. As always, I thank y'all so much for watching. And of course, I'll see y'all in my next one.